guys, Matt Hooker here. One of my favorite all-time fighters is Jack Dempsey, and this is his book, Championship Fighting. Explosive punching and aggressive defense. If you do not have a copy of this book, it's really cheap to find. Amazon or other websites sell it for around $20. So if you don't have it, you have to purchase this book. A lot of good nuggets, good insights are in this book. Once you get your stance and your footwork down, we're going to talk about the 4 different methods to build explosive power in your punching. Jack Dempsey gives 4 different methods. So the first one's called the fall-in step. So let me turn to the side. So you're in that medium crouch, okay? Medium crouch. The fall-in step is you're just going to take a step out with your lead leg. Let me point my finger. You see my finger here. I'm just going to step out and let my body weight fall forward. This is the fall-in step. You see how my body weight falls forward? So imagine there was a balloon on the ground there, or let's just say like a pop can. All right, you remember stepping on pop cans when you were a kid? All right, there's a pop can or a balloon out there, and I step out to pop it. For me to pop it, I gotta let my body weight fall onto the balloon. So again, this is the falling step. From that medium crouch, I'm just gonna step forward and let my body weight fall forward. So you can see if I point my finger, fall forward, fall forward, okay? So that's kind of incomplete. The fall-in step, you have to add the next component, which is called the leg spring. So the leg spring is basically, if I'm in my stance and I use a fall-in step, but I push off my rear leg, because remember you're in that crouch, that medium crouch, it's almost like my rear leg is coiled up like a spring, and then I'm gonna let it unspring, and I'm going to generate momentum moving forward into my fall-in step. So if I'm here, and you can see where that leg follows behind and catches myself. Now, with the leg spring, I can cover more distance to my opponent. So I'm in my stance, remember, fall-in step, fall-in step. Now I'm going to use the leg spring by pushing off that rear foot and then fall forward. Again, I'm going to point my finger to represent a punch, fall forward, and then I catch myself with that rear foot. Jack Dempsey gives this movement 2 names. He calls it the fallen step or the trigger step. I believe by reading the book, how I interpret it, is when you add the leg spring to the fallen step, it becomes the trigger step. So that is the first method of getting your body weight into movement. So the second method is the leg spring, and I just covered it with the fallen step. So you're going to realize that with these 4 methods to get your body weight into your punches, a lot of them work together. Not one works on their own. So give you an example like I just talked about. To do the fallen step, you got to add that leg spring to generate power. Okay? So the third method we're going to talk about, remember, the first one's the fallen step, the second one's the leg spring. The third method is called the shoulder whirl. Shoulder whirl. So the best way to demonstrate this is I'm going to stand like in a neutral position. I'm going to bring my hands up, put my fists together, elbows up, and I'm going to pull this elbow and shoulder backwards as I bring this shoulder and elbow forward, like an elbow strike. So when I'm here, rotate, rotate, rotate. Now naturally, I want to not leave my feet flat, but I can pivot on the side I'm striking with, but it's not necessary. You don't have to do it, okay? I think in Jack Dempsey's book, he doesn't show, he leaves his feet flat. But I like to naturally kind of just let my feet move with my body. So again, shoulder whirl, hit. And then I can come back on the other side, hit, hit. You see, I'm pulling one shoulder back. I'm basically twisting my upper body to generate power. And remember, power comes from putting your body weight into your punch or your kick or whatever movement you're doing. You're putting your body weight into your striking arm or leg. So, just a quick review. You got the fallen step. When I add the leg spring, it becomes the trigger step. Okay? Then I got the shoulder whirl. Here I rotate the upper body. like I'm doing elbow strikes. You can actually get to the heavy bag and just practice these elbow strikes, where I'm just rotating my upper body. That is the third method. The fourth method of generating power in your punches that Jack Dempsey talks about, he calls it the hip hunch or the upward surge. This is used more for body hooks, shovel hooks, and uppercuts. So, standing in that medium crouch, let's say I'm going to come up, I'm there, I'm going to get to the side, because let's say I'm going to throw like a left uppercut, but you got to watch, I'm going to get my hip comes up at an upward angle, upward surge, upward angle. So you see that comes up, up. Now once again, like I talked about before, you're also combining a second movement, which is the leg spring. I'm going to straighten the leg out. I'm going to straighten the leg out, which is that leg spring in motion, and then get the hip into it. You can see it where I can come with the punch here, up. So I can come with the shovel hook, or I can come with the uppercut. Usually the uppercut, I go a little more to the side, where the shovel hook comes up at a 45, where the uppercut comes more upward. So again, upward surge, and that's the lead hand side. Same thing for the rear. I'm in that crouch position. I'm just going to bring my hip up. Use the leg spring by straightening up the leg, driving the hip into, with my punch, into my opponent. So I'm here, upward surge. So those are used on your uppercuts and your shovel hooks. And I'll go in more detail when I talk about the different punches that Jack Dempsey talks about throwing in his book. So let's do one more review. Fall in step is just here. Fall in step. Okay? If I add the leg spring, it becomes the trigger step, where I drive off, get my body weight into motion. All right? Then you got your shoulder whirl, where you're rotating your upper body. The shoulder roll is usually used stationary. Okay? You're usually stationary when you're doing the shoulder whirl. Then the last one, the fourth one, is going to be that upward surge. Okay? Upward surge, where you're combining that upward hip hunch motion with your hips and using the leg spring by extending, driving off the floor and straightening out that leg. So that is the four methods of generating punching power or getting your body weight into your punches.